Are you writing your second act? Are you worried your readers will get bored? This video reveals useful techniques for building tension and raising the stakes in your story, turning Act 2 into a thrilling roller coaster your readers won't want to miss out on. We often hear about the sagging middle, and there is a good reason for that. Act 2 is usually the longest part of your story, and if you're not careful, it can start to drag. Readers or viewers might start to lose interest because the initial excitement has worn off, but the climax isn't close enough yet to pull them forwards. Basically, they get stuck in narrative limbo, and that's exactly what we want to avoid. So let's talk about common mistakes that lead to the dreaded sagging middle. The first one, a lack of clear direction. After Act 1, your character needs a goal or a strong motivation to keep them moving forwards. If they're just reacting to random events without a plan, your story can feel aimless. Second, repetitive conflict. Some writers need to think that they need to just keep adding obstacles, but if obstacles feel the same, it quickly gets boring. You want raising stakes, new challenges that reveal different sides of your character, and conflicts that build on each other instead of repeating the same beat over and over. Another mistake is ignoring characters' growth. Act 2 is where your characters should be tested the most and start to transform. If they stay the same or don't learn anything, the audience won't feel that emotional investment. By the end of Act 2, your protagonist should be in a totally new place, mentally or emotionally, even if they haven't solved all their problems yet. Okay, so how can you recognise if your own Act 2 is weak? A big sign is if you're bored writing it. If you're struggling to get through those chapters, chances are your readers will feel the same. Another sign is if your beta readers tell you they lost interest halfway through. Pay close attention to feedback like, "It slowed down here," or "I wasn't sure what the character wanted anymore." You might also notice that your scenes feel disconnected, or you're relying on filler to hit a certain word count goal. That's a red flag that you need to refocus your character's goals and conflicts. A lot of this happens because writers don't give Act 2 enough shape or purpose. Characters might just drift, conflicts might not escalate, and stakes stay flat. But the good news? Once you understand structure and what Act 2 needs to do, you can turn that sagging middle into the most exciting part of your story. So let's break it down. Oh, it is hot. First, here's a simple Act 2 structure you can use. The main action, the premise truly begins. This is where your protagonist is fully committed to the journey or problem, and there's no turning back. There's reaction, when your supporting characters, friends, enemies, or your side characters start reacting to the hero's choices. Maybe they're scared, maybe they're trying to stop them, or maybe they just push them forwards. Then you have your disaster. The situation escalates, something goes wrong, stakes get higher, and your protagonist realise how serious this all really is. And then you have your second wave of reaction, where panic sets in and they scramble for a new plan. The messiness of the stage 2 is for your characters to come together and build on the tension. You need to set the pace for this section, and it shouldn't feel like filler, and each scene should push the story forwards. You also need to set the tone. Maybe you want to create some unease or growing sense of danger depending on the genre. Your story premise is now fully active, and you need to carry on that narrative with the full energy that it has. And then you can dive deeper into the internal and external conflict to what drives these characters and what's going to force them to change. So conflicts gets harder, obstacles get thrown at them, and it forces the characters into changing positions or acting recklessly, which will create a good consequence for later. As they make mistakes and push forward, the tension and anticipation will build, and readers will be left wondering, how is this going to blow up later? Finally, let's talk about the payoff, setting up Act 3. By the end of Act 2, your characters should have changed in some way. They've faced setbacks, they've learned hard lessons, and maybe they've even lost something important. This is the moment for them to process what's happening so far. You can also start to foreshadow how they'll react in the big finale. Are they going to rise up and fail? Or are they going to spiral and almost give up before putting it together? Setting these emotional beats makes Act 3 feel inevitable and satisfying. So if you find yourself struggling with Act 2, don't panic. Break into clear steps, focus on escalating the tension and stakes, and make sure your character keeps growing. That's it for today's chat about Act 2 pitfalls and how you can avoid them. If you found this helpful, give it a like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments what part of Act 2 challenges you the most. I'd love to help to work it out. See you in my next video. Bye for now. Oh, before I forget, if you're looking for more support on your writing journey, don't forget to check out my How to Plan Your Novel ebook. It's available from my website and in most online stores. It's packed with practical tools and I'll help you shape your story from idea to outline. For those of you looking for a more hands-on approach, I also offer coaching services to guide you through every stage of your process. You'll find the details in the description below. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy writing.